I recently received an email from a viewer of my YouTube fighter kite videos asking a question about what is the difference between a traditional fighter kite and a North American fighter kite, and why is there any difference at all? I thought that was a good question. So I thought, well, make a little video and try to explain my opinion about that question. Here I have a kite made in India, a traditional India fighter kite. Now, the kite is made with a bamboo spine and a bamboo crossbar or bow, and paper for the sail. The kite is made to be disposable. The kite is made knowing that in advance they know this, that when they put this kite in the air the first time, it may be the last time they fly the kite. That's right. The last time they fly the kite is the first time they fly it. The reason is the game they play. The game they play in most cultures in the world who fly fighter kites is that they cut the flying line of their opponent, releasing the opponent's kite into the wild. The opponent loses his kite. That's how he knows he lost the game. Well, if you put your kite up to fly the first time after making it and spending, let's say, a day making the kite, and maybe you spent a lot of money making the kite, and then an opponent comes and cuts your flying line and your kite's gone. Not too smart. You want to make the kite disposable. You want to make it inexpensive, quick to produce, so that you can repeatedly put your kite up hoping to cut your opponent's first instead of having him cut yours. That's the game that's played. And it doesn't matter whether you're in India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Hong Kong, China, Brazil, whatever culture that flies fighter kites, that's the game that's typically played. Except one place, North America. In North America, we play a different game. And it's the games we play with the fighter kites, the aerial combat games, that determine what the kite is made to do and what it's made from, the materials. Now, I've made several kites, and I typically use very, very durable materials when I make them. And the reason is I don't have to worry that the kite's going to be, my kite line's going to be cut and my kite be blown into the wild by the wind. We play a game called line touch, and we touch the line of the opponent. We don't cut it. So my kite is made from a gift wrap I bought at the dollar store, made of a plastic film, doesn't stretch, and carbon fiber for the bow, and in this one a carbon fiber spine. This kite is very durable, it's waterproof, and can endure lots and lots of hours of flying. I have some kites I made in 2003. I still fly them. I've flown them hundreds of times and in many, many competitions, and they fly well even today, 20 years later. This kite's similar. I have a carbon fiber spine, carbon fiber bow, and in this one I use two different materials for the sail. Gift wrap, clear or translucent polyfilm, and then this part here is a material called Orcon. Again, very durable, waterproof, Now, the other aspect that's different about the two types of fighter kiting, traditional and North American, is kite line. Now the kite line they use to cut is a flying line coated with finely ground up glass that's glued to the surface of the flying line. And it's the sharp edges of the fine particles of glass that actually cut the flying line of your opponent. And he's trying to do the same thing to you. They fly these kites anywhere from 100 yards to 1,000 yards away from the flyer. They use very, very long flying lines. When they do, one of the results is, because the weight of the flying line itself and the drag through the wind, the kite has to carry all of that. So what happens is that the kite becomes relatively slow in its forward speed, and its maneuverability is relatively slow. Now they don't really care, because every other kite that they're competing with is dealing with the same issue. But in North America, it's a very, very different game we play, and we use much, much shorter flying lines. And as a result, our kites fly much faster. Instead of several hundred yards away, our kites are only about between 50 and 150 feet, not yards, feet away from the flyer. And the flying line is not coated with powdered glass, which adds weight to the flying line. So the kite has to carry or tow or drag very little, relatively speaking, and a very lightweight flying line. The result is the kite flies faster, its forward speed is much faster, and its maneuverability much quicker. So the game of line touch, which is what we play in North America, has a requirement that the flyer be able to deal with these higher speeds and these quicker maneuverabilities in order to be a winner in the competitions if they're involved in competition. So that's the main difference. The games are different. The length of line that's flown is different because of the game. The game rules it all. The kites and the kite lines are designed to facilitate the very, very optimal way to win the game. And in North America, the game is line touch. So the lines are short, kites are fast. In traditional fighter kites, the lines are long and heavy because they're coated with powdered glass, and so the kites fly slower and maneuver more slowly.